You done for the day, Lang?
Yes, sir. Checking out.
What's up, Lang? How you doing?
I'm curious. Where on earth is this like bad history coming from that you dislike me so much?
It's not dislike, sir. Our conversation that we're about to have is going to be useless. It's not going to get anywhere.
How so? We may as well have it. It's rather than being left in the dark and every single department just getting like.
Sir, there's no
explanation
telling me how an officer can post 77 warrants based on bank transactions.
I'm not here about the transaction thing. I'm here about like the monetary budget stuff and like P&T and all of that.
But what do you mean?
Like I'm working on behalf of Molten for like the commissioner stuff. I can explain the budget, the warrant stuff as well, but obviously you don't want to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the warrant shit. If we want to talk about budget shit, we can talk about budget shit.
Okay.
Fuck.
Excuse me.
Yo, what does the mayor look like?
Just as a heads up for your security, a guy outside just said, "What does the mayor look like?" So
yeah, that's fine. Much motherfuckers trying to kill me every day. So what's going on with the budget? What you want to talk about?
So I just want to like go around and talk about how I'm planning on doing the commissioner budget stuff going forwards, and then I guess making sure that we're in line with everything, because I know that you've got loads of deputy mayors working on it, but end of the day, you have to be the person to like approve it and then send the budget come the 15th. So I just want to make sure that we've got like a plan in order. So I've got a sheet that has like every single sub department and then every single departmental request. Bundy does the overall like VPD like request. Brian does like the overall DPD request.
Is Bundy in VPD?
He's VPD, like Vinewood PD.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then like yeah, then Brian does his. I think Shelby's doing it. I think it's Toretti who's doing SDSO. Maybe Shelby. Unknown. I'll have to check with them. They tend to just ask for like a flat number. And then I have meetings with like all of the sub departments, like SCU, HVTU.
Okay, we got to keep this guy.
Like
he actually does work.
All of that lot. That's a worrying noise.
Oh, it just sounds like a car accident. Sorry, continue.
Oh, okay. So I'm curious whether you want me to like just get all of the information from them and just give you raw numbers at the end of the day, or whether you want me to like bring in an official from each department to come in and like kind of explain everything to you. Because like end of the day, we're coming from Mickey, and he was just I don't think he really cared. He was great for approving money, and he'd do it on a whim, but he had a lot to give out, and it was pretty slick. As long as I spoke to a deputy mayor, they'd push it to him, and he'd push it through.
They don't have to come in and explain it, but whenever they write out their budgets, if they can just give a general explanation of what they need it for, it would be great. It doesn't have to be very detailed though, or time consuming.
Yeah. So like I've got a deadline set of the 7th of February.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make sure that I've got all of the numbers from then. And then between like the 7th and the 15th, we can talk about everything. And if there's any like discrepancies or any like queries that you have, rather than like all being sent to you on the 15th and we have to fucking panic and scramble for shit, I can actually like organize a meeting and you can talk to them and figure it out. Or I can just give you like a more detailed breakdown if they can't attend.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't think it's needed, but it's probably preferred just to have some sort of detailing. That way, we know where the fucking money's going. And then, like, I'm going to be very easy with budgets, too. I don't really need an amazing reason to give out PD budgets, as long as it's going towards something that's either helping the department or helping facilitate, some sort of shit in the city.
Okay. One other thing as well. I've been given requests from P&T. P&T is like a separate, I guess it's like a Senate-approved thing where you still have to be the person to send out the money. Where both CPD and VPD have requested $2 million for the FTO program each. Normally, it's just kind of on request, and both accounts are at a flat 0, so we're unable to pay our FTOs in their entirety.
That is no problem. Just the VPD right now, all of their budget is suspended until I speak to one of their higher-ups.
Well, I'm VPD, so...
what position are you in VPD?
So this is a very weird position. I'm a lieutenant for the department, but also I have been given like a mentoral position of Den, so I kind
Are
of.
you higher than Percy?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's sergeant for our department. Yeah.
He's a sergeant for your department. Okay. Where is Den? Has Den been around?
Den, no, not as of late. It's been a couple of days since he's last been around.
So what? You're like the highest. Would you say you're the highest acting officer in the VPD?
Yeah. So yeah, we
Oh,
only have above me. It's Bundy, Den, and then Molten. And then Molten has put me in like a position where I am technically above Den, but not in rank, but by like mentorial. So it's kind of a weird thing, but under Den, but highest on duty right now.
All right. Well, let's. I'll probably reach out to Bundy, and then we'll set up a meeting, and we can talk then. But as for now, until we speak, I want to speak to you and Bundy. I guess at the very least, VPD budget is suspended.
And I'm assuming this is regarding the warrants.
This is regarding the warrants. A lot of resources being tied up into this shit show fiasco done by one of your officers here that we're going to have to just relook at where the budget is going. Because a lot of bench trials are about to happen, a lot of suing is about to go down, and a lot of DOJ resources are about to be tied up over bullshit. So we got to make sure we can afford it.
Here's the thing, and this is why I wanted to come along for like the conversation about the warrants, is that in unison, I guess, with like the SVU, I'm now like one of the squad leads for like the warrant department, like the people that hunt for like high scale warrants. So it's like not like we're the people that put it out, but I am able to like explain and articulate how the warrants got approved and how they like got pushed out there, and really like how we came to this point in the first place. Because this extends from a very, very long time ago thing where there was a discussion with, I think, members of what was the PBSO who did investigations into dispensaries. And then Crane pushed forwards that people were able to actually subpoena the records of all of the dispensaries without like higher approval. So it was something that we could do at any point in time just to make sure that all were compliant, and that anyone that was found to be like purchasing like an illegal amount at any time could be pursued in like a criminal venture.
So how do you determine that?
So we basically got the bank records of all of the what am I trying to say? All of the dispensaries. We then reviewed how many had purchased over the legal limit at one time, and then because sale of drugs is articulated as a deal between.
So let's pause there for a second. How do you know how much they purchased if you can price joints for whatever pricing you want, and you can sell more than just joints out of a dispensary?
I would have to look into it properly. Let me pull up one of the warrants now. Oh, and my MDW crashed. That's great.
No worries.
I'm not 100% sure with all of the tech issue. Oh, actually, no, there you go.
While you're pulling that up, I don't know if you're able to answer one of my questions. Presumably, a majority of those 77 warrants were all written by Weaver, right?
Let me look quickly.
And it's still my understanding that those can only be successfully contested if the arresting or the officer writing the warrant is present, right?
No, that's not. Well, that's not the case. No, because then, like, the entire point of like a subpoena is proof of everything. We would never be able to prove anything in a court of law if we were never present for like a purchase.
No, but I'm saying if I got pulled in on a warrant for sale of drugs because of this, I wouldn't be able to contest that unless Weaver was, on duty that day, right? So I hope Sergeant Weaver is planning on being around a lot to allow these 77 people, to have their opportunity for due process without having to clog up the docket.
Yeah, he's spending a ridiculously large amount of time, even like entertaining being around for as many like bench trials as possible for this.
Okay, but before we even explore all of that, I'm just curious as to how you determined what an individual purchased from a storefront.
Okay. Let me look at the debrief for this. So bank records of smoke on the water legal dispensary were obtained including a list of individuals that are blatantly flaunted the 13 joint cap, instead purchasing an illegal quantity of marijuana and thus have committed the offense of sale of drugs. Joints cost 90 before tax, unless 13 joints with a total of 1,170 is the limit that a single person can be in possession of at one time.
And I'll stop you right there. Storefronts don't charge tax.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I think that's just him stating that as obviously like when you do charge with tax, like through not I guess Greg the salesman, but through like yourself, some places do have like a tax sale. So he's just stating like the amount without having like.
So let me assume here, Percy is going. He's looking at transaction record. He's going, okay, joints are $5 each. To buy 2 joints, it's $10. This guy spent $10 at a dispensary. He must have bought 2 joints. Is that his line of thinking?
Yep.
No, it's somewhat. So
it literally is though.
Yeah, it's
I sell soap for $75 a bar. I sell cigarettes for $150 a pack. Someone can buy 2 soaps for $150 or a pack of cigarettes for $150. It's the same shit. Also, him saying that there's tax on these sales just shows that he has a fundamental misunderstanding of how storefronts even function.
And I can also,
sorry,
myself and my, okay. Yeah.
So I just wanted to address the other thing before another comment comes out. So regarding the tax thing, him saying 90 before tax is just to state that there's like obviously no discrepancies with the amount of money that a charge has. So it's just like someone goes like, well, it's 90 before tax, but it comes out as 101 or something like that in a situation where there is no tax whatsoever. So
he could have just stated there's no tax.
Yeah.
There isn't any tax.
I think that's just like bad wording on his part more than.
It's a bad subpoena.
And then my next point.
God, I love Nancy Neal. I have nothing without him.
Yesterday, Lexi can actually attest to this. Is that as myself and Nancy are storefront owners, we're the only people who can change the price on things. And literally yesterday, I accidentally set the price of my coffees to $20 each instead of $200 each. And I also set my joints all the time. I change my own joints to 200 instead of 105. So I mess up my prices all the time, and until an employee calls me and tells me that the price is wrong, it's a thing that happens. So him constantly, and him saying all these things without having, I don't know, he didn't even talk to me to get my subpoena or ask me what my business model is for any of these things is ridiculous to me as well.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Muller. I get the transaction. I get that line of thinking in a sense of, okay, let me do the math here, see what these joints cost. But if that's all he has, how does that prove anything? That's more of a side dish to the main course, and it really feels like he's got no main course right now. So then we post 77 warrants, as you know, you yourself can see, are a lot of them are violent individuals. The resources the cops are going to have to tie up to try to catch all these motherfuckers who are going to be running from a sale of drugs warrant is going to escalate and just cause a shit show in the city over very baseless evidence that's going to be dismissed so quickly in a bench trial.
Well, Percy is going to be pulling muscles with the amount of stretching that he's doing.
Well, here's the thing. So yes and no. So I think that the thought process goes that I guess both the push of these kind of warrants is again another thing that sets kind of like precedent. So again, is this wrong? Potentially. This has been like reviewed, and once it goes to a bench trial, literally the first person that will go to a bench trial contests it and states, oh no, I actually bought like 15 what do they call, like those like essential oils from fucking Smoke on the Water. They can do that, and then this may potentially get overturned. It's really dependent on how a judge does it. And again, it's off of pricing of everything. And like you said, there's discrepancies with pricing. It really is dependent on each person that.
But why?
But
why set a precedent by doing that? Why not just have conversations and improve on systems?
I've asked multiple times that storefront things be changed. can ask Nancy herself. I have made complaints about, especially like dispensaries themselves. I went to the Senate. I went to the judges. You can ask multiple judges that I've asked. I've brought up the problem that
The
joints.
entire conversation was why Lang said it was useless.
Yup. I got the approval from multiple judges saying,
cops
hey,
protect
just put
their
a
own,
little
man. It's
disclaimer
just
up.
how it
And I have
goes.
a
Just like
disclaimer
Lang
up in my
protects his
store,
own. You know
every
what I mean?
single storm that says, disclaimer, please only buy 13 joints at a time, and my hands are washed clean, because the DOJ said, hey, that is okay. And now I'm being fucked months later for trying to do the right thing.
No.
That
so
is what pisses me off.
Here's the thing: the intent isn't to punish the intent isn't to punish like the dispensaries. And I went to your one just before the storm, and I saw that you do have like the large disclaimer about only buying like 13 at a time. And it's almost, I guess, in a sense of setting precedent and also forcing the hand, so that something that you're requesting is being put forwards. It's so also you state about like how it's a waste of like resources and everything. The charge and time for the sale drugs is 25 months and 2,000 something, I think. 2,625, I think, in fine. That is more than the amount for street racing. Street racing is something that takes about, I think, 2 to 3 hours half the time to actually be able to catch maybe 2 to 3 people, whilst out of the, I guess, 16 to 20 that we've caught so far out of the 77 warrants that were pushed out. I believe majority of them have been compliant, handed themselves in, and then their charges have been dropped to a lesser charge, or have been dropped entirely on kind of like a basis of like a what some people who've pushed the warrants are calling like a scared straight program. Like we've had people like Suri Nanakaze who had a warrant, and then whilst Mirandized, he stated, yes, I bought over
what the
amount
fuck
of
is he
joints,
saying,
and I have
bro?
done that. And then rather than sending him and like tarnishing his record, it's a case of, okay, well, if you continue with compliance with us, we understand the issue, but we're just kind of forcing the hand of the issue as well.
Still doesn't make it right.
Yeah, with all the respect, it literally sounds like then you're just doing this just to waste everybody's time.
Yeah,
that is exactly what you're doing.
When you can just go and try to change the legislation and change things for the storefronts,
but
which I've tried to do.
The majority of attempts at legislation that you've tried to do haven't worked. It's stuff like this, which sadly is what gets
because nobody like listened to me.
Okay, so
or try to help me.
One of the previous like convictions that I've tried against you, Lang, was a situation where I believe you were involved in a meth run of sorts, and then you had a ton of valuable goods on you, and we couldn't articulate a charge that fitted at the time, so we're pushing it in court, and then Crane goes,
why is he opening up his can of worms?
And then fucking comes back, and then a week later we have a new charge or a fix to the issue. Sadly, sometimes that's literally on the other side of the fucking moon. You cannot compare this
ridiculous.
to that. That is just a horrible comparison.
Here's the thing: if disclaimers aren't working, and people who are knowingly seeing because the charges in the city are public knowledge, they're public like capacity. In every storefront,
how many of those 77 know what charge they're facing on the warrant? They just look at the MDW, they see they're wanted.
And to be fair, listen, I understand where you're coming from. Your goal is to catch people who are overbuying more that they can legally have of marijuana, but it seems like you're going after the entire blanket of dispensaries and customers, ruining businesses, slowing down income, giving a hard time to employees and business owners. Because you want,
and the consumers,
because you want to just fucking stake shit out and do proper investigation to catch motherfuckers who are actually probably overbuying joints.
And
based on a fucking baseless transaction you can't prove in court.
That's the thing. As soon as someone contests it, pleads not guilty, and then takes this to court, and the amount of people that will go forwards with this is like on if say 50 out of the 77 plead not guilty, and say like the other 17 plead guilty. Sorry, 27 plead not guilty. Plead guilty to it. Then it's still like level of almost like class action lawsuit where they're overturning like a criminal charge to then like contest their overall like charges. If it's baseless, then it'll get overturned, and hopefully maybe even overturned for the 15 that pled guilty. But it's like on a case by case basis.
Instead of spending all of your time and resources trying to go through these 77 warrants, why don't the police spend their time and resources helping dispensary owners like Eve change the fucking legislation?
Okay, so first off, I think multiple officers have tried doing that in the past, but sadly, at the same no, trust me, within the SCU, people understand that the amount of people that buy like over the legal amount happens. However,
so okay, I'm gonna interrupt you. If you're telling me that a bunch of officers have already tried to change the legislation, how is somebody like Eve, a civilian, meant to change legislation on her own? So you're telling Eve that she should just change the legislation. If a bunch of literal police officers can't, how is Eve supposed to?
No one is asking Eve to. No one is asking Eve to. I'm stating that with a situation like this is both in an attempt to actually change the legislation through criminal procedures by punishing
the city's consumers.
You just told Eve to work on it.
Yeah, to be fair, you did literally just tell her to try and change the legislation.
I said I understand that you've worked on it. However, we're also working on it in the same capacity. The amount of SCU members that understand that this happens, but sadly, you can't sit outside of a dispensary all day and then say like, oh, hey, how many did you buy? Well, you see,
but,
sadly, that's just not how it goes.
But and someone has the capacity to do 77 bench trials?
No.
Ooh.
As soon as one bench trial happens, and it's contested to the point where it doesn't actually hold any like moral fiber to it, then boom, all of them are gone.
That's a very like loose assumption, though. To be fair, that is a potential that could happen, but you have no idea. Every case will be different.
And the fact that no one has contested it as of yet is insane to me.
Well, this
how's that insane to you? A lot of people in the city feel that the DOJ system is broken, so they would just rather eat a charge than contest anything.
But that's the thing. It's the flip side as well. I wish that the DOJ was in a better position that both parties could trust it. But both the police officers within the UPD sometimes dislike going to court just as much as the civilians do. But if someone feels as if like it's that much of an issue that they're so willing to contest it, and they take it to a bench trial, it would take one member of the DOJ to really set this precedence with actually confirming that they are guilty of the charge or going not guilty. And if they're guilty of the charge, then that is dependent on each person that pleads not guilty thereafter.
And has Weaver been around to allow people to contest this in court?
Yes. When all of the warrants went out yesterday, he was around for, I believe, 14 hours.
He can't be around for 14 hours every day.
I mean, this is going to be a mess, Muller. I understand there's a little bit of merit. I can't believe I'm saying this. I get your line of thinking for some of the things you guys are trying to do, but this entire thing was just poorly executed, with all due respect. This is like the worst way to go about this situation.
I understand.
It seems like I don't understand why the precedent is. I understand you guys want to catch criminals and drug operations and things like that, but you're always aiming your crosshairs at the fucking dispensaries, like every time.
Well, we're not aiming the crosshairs at the dispensaries, and I think if you actually had like a face-to-face conversation with Percy, you would just understand how much of like illegal like weed growing operations he's busted. I think in the past 3 months, he has brought in, I think, 45 million on just busting weed operations alone.
Okay, fair enough. You're right. I don't know everything. I don't know everything that goes on. You're not wrong there, but
why focus on the legal ones instead of the illegal ones?
Because it's playing the hand of both sides. There's no one that is trying to punish the legal dispensaries for you guys having like an individual in the stores that's selling more. You guys aren't being like charged like criminally for anything. You guys are getting
because they're not doing anything criminal. Like what the fuck are you saying? With all due respect.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not punishing the dispensaries. It's punishing the individuals that interact with the dispensaries. And
but you're not. But no, Muller. With all due respect, you're not even doing that either, though. You're targeting the blanket consumer. You're not targeting the specific individuals who are actually breaking the law. You're saying, "Fuck this. We're never going to catch these individuals who are actually breaking the law. So let's target the blanket consumers and see what sticks from these 77 fucking warrants."
Well, that's the thing. If some of them contest the charges and they have like the ability to prove otherwise, then they're not going to be found guilty of these
Why
charges.
Is the onus on them to prove innocence? Like what? When you have literally zero evidence.
No. So it's both the fact that they have to prove it, but also we have to prove it as well. And yes, warrants more than likely will not get extended. But at the same time, in these 3 days, the burden of proof is on us to prove it. So if anyone contests it and we can't meet that burden of proof, which you can obviously see, then they won't be found guilty for it. It's very much dependent on those who are willing to admit guilt and actually state, oh yeah, I have done that a couple of times, and those who are contesting it and are compliant, and the charges get dropped to a lower amount if charged at all. I'd say out of the 16 that have caught, I believe 10 have pled guilty because they have, under Miranda, said like, oh shit, I have done that in the past. And I have bought over 13, and that's what this is. And then the others have said like, well, no, I didn't do that. And then they're either legal civilians or they just like bought like essential oils or some shit, and the charges have been dropped. The matter of the fact is that the engagement in the sale is criminal engagement. Buying over 13 joints is still a criminal amount, and it's upon this investigation that we're pushing the charge. Now, if we don't meet the burden of proof, then so be it. We don't meet the burden of proof, but it's still there, and hopefully something like this is a wake up to say, it's something to say like, okay, well, we've had the SCU try it, we've had like the dispensary owners try and limit the sales of 13 joints. This is really at a last level for pushing it.
But you can't even prove
this
that
line
they
of
bought
thinking
13.
is just like, it just screams gross negligence on your part and on your officer's part. It seems like you're frustrated with not being able to do your job, so now you're taking the extreme to set a precedent that nobody's going to give a fuck about in a week, with all the respect.
Yeah, well, nobody's going to give a fuck about it, but if there's 50 people, I don't believe that these warrants are going to get extended if they were put forward. They expire tomorrow, I think. But nonetheless, if they were extended by a judge who deemed them like actually to have some merit, then there's 50 people or however many who can then state, well, why am I getting charged for this? And then there's a pushback, and then it goes, well, if this is so much of an issue that the dispensaries that are able to be subpoenaed and have their like bank logs checked at any point in time are facing this issue, and both sides of the table, because both like us as a unified PD and dispensaries have stated, like you've said yourself, we wish that we could limit how many people could buy at a time. And if both sides are saying it and showing in unison rather than both parties individually doing it to the Senate or whatever, then maybe we might actually get some movement here.
Okay, I mean, I think we're just going in circles here, Muller. I appreciate the insight. I think this is ridiculous, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
At the end of the day, someone's going to contest it. We'll see in the very first bench trial that comes from it.
Yeah.
I think that's just how it goes.
All right, thank you, my man. Appreciate your time.
Okay, regarding the VPD and CPD P&T stuff, I'm assuming that that's not still under the freeze regarding this like warrant talk, because I feel like we're not
VPD is under a freeze. Yeah, they're definitely under a freeze.
Well, the P&T for VPD is like a Senate approved thing, though. The FTO program is like a previous Senate approved thing.
That then can be paid out. That's fine.
Okay, so it's a request for both, I believe, VPD and CPD of $2 million each. If you could, do you have the? I can send the commissioner's account to someone.
Yeah. Feel free to send me all the info. If you have my number, send it to Eve, and then we'll get it sorted.
Okay. Okay. So well, considering I'm VPD representative and I guess commissioner for UPD, what is going to stop the freeze then? Because these warrants are going to expire tomorrow. Well, what's the issue with anything going forward?
Like I said, I want to speak to Bundy, right? I mean, we already spoken. This conversation should have happened with Bundy and preferably Dan around.
Okay. I would,
because I would rather not. I would rather we don't approach dealing with things in this way, with all the respect.
No, I get you. I get you, but at the same time, this is like a thing that the Unified PD in its entirety have engaged with, not just VPD. Just because one officer pushes it out doesn't mean that it's not a disagreed upon factor for the entire PD.
That is fair. So maybe I will speak to Bass then.
Okay, if you'd like to. I'm not sure how, presently.
Who runs this entire? What? So Percy, whatever the fuck his name is, he's a detective.
I think it would be a good idea to get myself. So I'm basically like rep for HVTU at this point because Svensson and obviously Vale are no longer around.
Yeah.
Svensson can be around if I grab him, but then Bundy he's chief of detectives, and then I guess Percy in itself, so he's able to, I guess, word of mouth articulate everything.
Okay, so us four will get in a room and we'll speak. And listen, I'm not trying to hold this budget over your head. I'm just worried about all the resources that are about to be tied up into all these warrants and these bench trials and these judges' time. So I'm going to have to reconfigure all the budget now because we had everything set, all the numbers written out, but now resources are being tied up. The resources being tied up means less money here, more money there.
Okay. I'll tell you now, I don't believe that resources are being tied up as much as possible.
Well, I hope not. I hope that once you go after obviously the big targets on this list, that shit don't get crazy. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. But thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking the time to explain and give insight.
Okay. I appreciate you talking to me about everything. So,
of course.
Congratulations again, by the way. I haven't actually said it. Is the door unlocked? That's not. Thank you. I'll send you the thing, by the way. Appreciate you guys.
Fucking rat.
He just said that no resources were tied up and then also said in the same breath that somebody spent 14 hours yesterday doing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Muller's a good cop, but he will never admit illogical. Trust me, I got into word judo battles with fucking Muller a lot over a lot of shit.
There's just no accountability.
There's no accountability. And the thing is, like, the more I heard him speak, now I understand what their mindset is around this whole thing. And it's just ridiculous that they think they can operate like that as police officers. That's actually insane.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like, oh, we can't get this legislation changed, so let's fuck and try to abuse a system we have here to prove a point. That's literally what's happening. Like, once they start going after fucking Mr. K, Carmine's got a fucking warrant.
What?
Oh, he stabbed somebody. Okay, this is irrelevant. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But like, there's so many, like Adam from the Mandem. Your husband is wanted for terrorism?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay.
It's the vice president of the Bondi Boys.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah. Shot some
I don't know. This
people in
is
the
crazy.
hospital, I think.
But let's get the fuck out of here. I'm done being the mayor for today.
I think all we need to make sure is that they don't extend the warrants. That's essentially it.
Yeah, but we both know that they're probably going to try, especially after that conversation.
Whew. Jesus Christ, we're there so long it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? Is that coming from Wu Chang?
No, it's coming from the jewelry store. Remember that magazine that Dub Blunt was doing with the photo shoots?
Oh shit, yeah.
That's the release party for it right now. That's where I dipped to go set up a stage and microphone and stuff for them.
Oh hell yeah.
It's literally just around the corner if you want to take a look.
Oh fuck no, it's too much noise for me, honestly. I'm an old man now.
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Lang, Baki and told me that I need to sign something because technically you are conflicted on signing it regarding...
Yeah, he's got a business proposal for you if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, Eve's car's over here.
Oh shit. Babis, Tim, I think we're good for now. Unless you guys got anything you guys want to talk about, we can meet at Cerberus.
I got one minor thing about the person reselling food.
Okay, Babis, what about you?
Yeah, no. We can discuss it at Cerberus unless you're going.
Yeah, head over to Cerberus. We'll see you over there.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, let's head over to Cerberus. Tim and Babis want to talk about some shit, but I gotta take a piss. So I'm gonna go sit in the car. Shit, it's locked. Alright, give me a second. One sec, chat. I gotta pee.